Hi, Scorpio. I just like super cleansed the air and the cards and like everything. So it might be a little bit like there might be a film still, like a smoky film. It was smoking up, the sage was smoking up pretty good. So get a nice clearing before your reading. Welcome to your February 2020 reading. That's why that card that just came out, and it might be why I have such a pounding headache as I start the camera. Like, what the fuck is happening with you guys right now? I know what's going on. You don't have to. It was rhetorical. It was a rhetorical question. The Five of Swords was the first card that comes out, and that worries me. Being the base foundation of your reading with the devil, you could be dealing with a Capricorn, or this is how January made you feel. Don't tell yourself, because January, and like, because right now, today's the 28th of January, and we're going through, like, after that whole Saturn and Pluto conjunction that we're still sort of, like, it's still sort of hovering over us. It's not as strong as it was a couple weeks ago. But now we've got Neptune and Venus conjunct, and they're both squaring Mars, or Mars is squaring both of them. And it's the Pisces moon right now. After the new moon in Aquarius, we have the Pisces moon. So that's why I chose to do your reading today, because when it's really, really watery like this, I can get in touch with you and Cancer and Pisces so much easier, because I don't have a lot of water in my chart. So when it's like when it's affecting me, here we are. But I feel like the stuff that happened in January is, I don't want you to overthink it. That Five of Swords worries me, because I feel like there's this aspect of, what do I do? What do I do? How do I fix this? What do I do? If it's not, if you've tried to fix whatever if you've tried to fix whatever you wanted, like, leave it alone. And if you've been leaving it alone, then you need to mentally, if you've been physically leaving it alone, you need to mentally leave it alone, because it's not helping your case. You're trying to, when you are trying to manifest your life, when you're trying to create happiness in your life, when you're trying to build your life from a place where you weren't doing so well before, it's really, really easy to get pulled back into that, or to like lie to yourself and tell yourself all the reasons why everything has always been so bad, or this and that and whatever. It feels very much like there's a lack mentality, and part of it is because you're like, but I've been patient, I've been patient, I've been patient, I've been patient. If you're the person that's telling people, but I've been patient, that's not patience. Being patient means you don't talk about it. Being patient means you don't focus on it. Being patient means you don't keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing in one direction when it's not working, right? And we've talked about this before, Scorpio. You guys are black and white, right? There's like no gray areas. And you are in a place right now where you're being forced to see the gray areas, because something has to change. It can't just be all of this and none of this. And it can't be all of this and none of this. There has to be a happy medium in there somewhere, or you're going to continue to feel this lack mentality. I know. Finding a gray area for a Scorpio is like asking a mountain to move to the left a little without shifting the tectonic plates to do it, right? Like, just with your mind. And my headache is starting to let up a little bit. So let's get two more cards. We'll talk about all of them again, or kind of just go through, and then we'll go through and clarify. This is basically the foundation of why your energy is the way that it is. And then we're going to clarify and find out either how to learn from it or how to change it. Okay. A lot of people ask me, like, what do you do for the cards and the energy? Like, what's your spread? It isn't really a spread. Okay, you guys. So here's the other thing. So we have the Ace of Cups, which I love that we got this. Like, thank you. The Ace of Cups and the Seven of Cups. The thing about this Ace of Cups is this Ace of Cups right here is within one of these 7 cups, but I feel like you're a little bit confused as to what to do and where to look. And because that Ace of Cups, for me, the Ace of Cups is not a relationship coming to you. For me, the Ace of Cups is self-love, which ironically, maybe not ironically, but coincidentally, there we go, that's the right word. Coincidentally, I'm actually teaching my next workshop on February 22nd about finding your own brand of self-love and no longer judging yourself. So if you are one of the Scorpios out there, I mean, coincidentally, this is in your reading, wasn't even going to say anything until the end of the video. But if you're one of those Scorpios that you're like, Betsy, I do want to love myself. I just don't know how. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I take myself out to dinner and I give myself baths and I do all the things, right? But it's not working. How do I love myself? Well, one of the biggest reasons why you don't love yourself is because you judge everything you do. Everything you think, everything you say, you judge. So if you sign up for this workshop before Sunday, it's the 28th today. If you sign up before February 2nd, you'll get all of the meditations in February free, which is a $20 value. And the workshop's only $44. So if you're one of those Scorpios that needs that, that's my commercial. Again, I wasn't going to bring it up until the end of the video, but you forced it out of me. 5 of Swords. Let's see what this 5 of Swords is, because I feel like you're stressing yourself out because you think you're not supposed to be in the position that you're in right now. You think that your life is supposed to look different. And that's a problem. When you don't realize that your journey is where you are right in this moment. This is a part of your journey. But their life looks so much better and so much happier, and it's like the filter and the beach and the Instagram and the family and the going to church and the Christmas this and their life looks so much better and blah, blah, blah. I guarantee you when that camera is turned off, their life is not pretty. Or it's not as pretty as one might think, as what they're showing, right? So just because you think your life is supposed to look different, 5 of Swords, you're going to lie to yourself and tell yourself that this isn't right, this isn't right, this isn't right. I've been waiting for so long. The reason why you're still waiting for something to show up is because you keep on wanting the same thing. Oh, that's too many. I'm not going to take all of those cards to clarify. Sorry, we're just going to keep going. There were like 6 cards in that bundle. It's not happening. But the reason why you're still waiting with this 7 of Pentacles is probably because you're still trying to manifest the same thing that you were trying to manifest years ago. Right? Ooh, 10 of Swords and the 8 of Pentacles on the 5 of Swords. It's really, really hard when you have to stop doing the same thing over and over and over again. Because then you're like, but if I stop doing what I'm doing right now, then everything is over. I have to change everything all over. Like I have to reinvent myself. So? But Betsy, I'm always reinventing myself. I'm always having to do that. Why do I always have to do that? You do realize that you're a Scorpio, right? And what that means? The reinvention of self, transformation, phoenix rising from the ashes. Sound familiar? And even if you weren't a Scorpio, I would still say the same thing to you. Transformation and reinventing. I've reinvented myself at least a half a dozen times in my life. And one might look at my life and be like, damn, she wasted a lot of time in her life having to reinvent herself lesson after lesson after lesson. But I'm still learning. There are still so many things about my life. Like I'm probably going to have to reinvent myself all over again someday. Just because that is my journey. And once you accept what your journey is and what your journey is not, this does not become a problem anymore. And you stop telling yourself about all the reasons why you're not good enough. Because you are good enough for your journey and you are good enough for your life. In fact, you're better. You're better. But you don't believe it because you don't even think that what you have right now is good enough. Your outside world will reflect how you feel about yourself. So if you think that you are a miserable turd who can't have a good life, your outside world will reflect that. And this Saturn and Pluto conjunction showed that to us, right? Now you could be dealing again with a Capricorn energy. And if you are dealing with a Capricorn energy in like a relationship stance, I feel like you've been waiting for this person for a very long time to show up in your life. I'm sorry, Scorpio. I have to blow my nose, and I'm not going to do it on camera. So I'm going to pause the reading really quick. I promise I won't lose my place, okay? I was saying about waiting for a Capricorn, and I need you to stop waiting for the Capricorn, okay? Hold on one second. Okay, now my nose is all red. Sorry, guys. But, okay, so waiting on the Capricorn energy, this is creating a sense of lack mentality if waiting on somebody, okay? Now, if this isn't in a relationship capacity and you're sitting here and you're like, Betsy, I'm just tired of waiting for my life to show up for me. I'm tired of waiting. You know, I've been waiting for a universal sign. I've been doing all the work. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. I've been doing the meditations. I'm, reading the books, and I'm doing all the things. Have you tried not doing the things and actually spending time with yourself and like stop doing the things and actually spending time with yourself? Because you might be doing all of the things that help other people find their own brand of self-care, but what's yours? Everybody's self-care is different. And even in the spiritual world, that's why I'm teaching everybody to find their own. Because even in the spiritual world, they will say, oh, well, if you're not meditating or you're not doing this or you're not doing that, then you're not doing it right. Which is a little bit true, but I mean, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about picking the right meditation for you and then using that meditation in real life, creating that peaceful existence during the day or when your eyes are open and not closed in meditation, right? That's what it's about. It's not about practice. That's like people that just go to church on Sundays or just go to church on the holidays and then say, I'm a believer. That's what like meditating for an hour and then forgetting about it for the rest of the week. That's like that. Or not practicing that peace and calmness every day. So justice on the devil. You could be dealing with a Libra energy also, but if you are dealing with the Libra energy, they're teaching you some very karmic lessons, And if you are missing these karmic lessons because you're paying attention to something else or you're trying to manifest something else and not paying attention to the lessons that you're learning in this area, because whatever this karmic activity that's happening, it's trying to balance you out. It's trying to bring you to a different state of mind. It's trying to bring you peace. But if you're so worried about the Seven of Pentacles over here that's not growing or that's taking your... Ooh, did you see that card fly out? Ooh, the Empress. Also, believing in yourself is very real. This is more Libra energy, by the way, or Taurus. Because the Empress is ruled by Venus, as is Libra and Taurus. But the Empress on the Seven of Pentacles, you also have to really believe in what you're creating. You have to believe in yourself, too. Because everything that you create should have your stamp on it. So if you don't believe in yourself 100%, of course you're going to feel like you're lacking in some way with this Five of Pentacles. All this time you've been waiting and you're like, but Betsy, I am creating. I'm trying to create, but I feel really blocked. Do you know why? Because this Five of Pentacles is saying that you have a lack mentality. Whoa, there it is again. The star. Okay. And here's the thing is with the star, there's something, it could be that somebody made you feel like you were less than who you really are, but we're in 2020, guys, we're not allowing other people to have control over our emotional capacity. So if you're still sitting and pining over someone else that made you feel really, really bad about yourself, you have to heal that. And the star is telling you that the energy is perfect in February for you to do that. Now, there is going to be, I'm trying to figure out, hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, your fourth house. Okay. No, 2, 3, 4, your fifth house is where the Mercury retrograde is going to be. So, any kind of passion projects, any kind of, that's why that feels like that. That damn saw. They've been doing that saw thing. That's not a child screaming. It's not a cat screaming. It's a damn saw. And they have been doing this to me like all week. All of the construction and stuff. It's so annoying. And it sounds terrible. Anyways. Sorry. But the projects that you're working on, you're going to be reviewing, like you have to go back over something in February, during Pisces season, and the end of Aquarius season, the beginning of Pisces season. You're going to have to go over everything that the projects that you're working on, because I feel like there's something that you might be missing. There's like a detail here with this star, and that's why I had to think about it, because there's like some kind of star, or there's some kind of detail in that you're missing. And maybe it's within the relationship, or maybe it's within how to love yourself. Maybe that's the project that I'm talking about. But it's something that you are passionate about. It's something that you want to bring into fruition. Could be a relationship, could be you, could be like whatever it is that you're working on right now. But the lessons that you just went through are part of that project, or part of whatever it is that you're going through and having to learn about yourself and find out your own personal way to love yourself. That's how you're going to come to this conclusion, right? That seven of cups is confusing to you, but it doesn't have to be, because you're going to be able to come to the conclusion during that Mercury retrograde on why it all had to happen and why it had to come down like that. Even though you think that for some reason you're still lacking in some way, you're actually not. You've grown so much from the energy that's happening and everything that's going on around you, but you have to be grateful for it. You have to be grateful for the lessons and not bitter, right? Oh, there we go. Now you're showing up. Yeah. And you already intuitively knew that you had to change your self-care in some way. This High Priestess and the Death card. So you could be dealing with a Pisces energy, but that Death card is you, right? The transformation. You have to reinvent yourself, and you sort of already knew that was happening. That doesn't mean your entire life is going to change. That just means that you have to reinvent the way that you see yourself. Like, you cannot be the same person. If you continue to be the same person day after day after day after day, and you don't change your routine, and you don't change who you talk to, and you don't change what you wear, and you don't change what you're doing, right? Like, all of us have to have a routine, but like my day-to-day is not the same as the day before. And I do that on purpose because I'm in a constant flow of energy, right? So for you to find this answer in the Seven of Cups that you're looking for, which one is going to give me my answers? Because you're emotionally attached to whatever lesson it is that you're learning here. The way that you're going to find that answer, I feel like it's about getting quiet. I feel like it's about not distracting yourself with TV, not distracting yourself with books, not distracting yourself with friends, not distracting yourself with lovers, right? Because if this Two of Swords is anything to say about the distractions that you're creating, so you don't have to deal with it and you don't have to see, so you don't have to choose how to take care of yourself. Because that's really all it is. What you're actually doing is having to learn how to nurture that inner child. That's what self-care is. Whatever it is that you didn't get as a child, that's what you have to learn, but you refuse to see it. Nine of Swords. Because it brings you anxiety. Because then you have to be judgment. Then you have to be honest with yourself about certain things from your childhood, or about certain things from your past that you don't want to be honest about, or certain things like, I have to be the one that changes. It's not that everybody else has to change. I have to be the one that changes. You see? Nine of Swords and Judgment. And this is why it's hard. This is why it's hard to do that, because this isn't comfortable, having to get honest with yourself and be anxious over being honest with yourself. That's not comfortable. But once it's done, and once you've done it, and once you've moved on from it, and you've realized, oh wow, that's how I'm holding myself back. Once you take the blindfold off and you see, that's when everything kicks into gear, with the Chariot, and then Temperance, and the Fool. Ooh, and then the Emperor, right? And the Emperor is his own boss. So maybe that's what you're trying to do, is be your own boss. But with the Chariot, now you're moving forward, and you've tempered your emotions, which is not an easy thing, an easy task to do. Once you've realized how you can temper yourself, because you've learned the lesson, that's when you can start over and reinvent, like the Fool does. You see? We go from Death to the Fool. And allowing yourself to do that right now is huge. Huge. And I can see it. I mean, I can totally see you guys doing that. I can totally see how this energy would do that for you. So that's what Mercury retrograde is going to bring up for you in February. I love you guys. If you want to get a reading with me, I actually have a couple of day openings next week. And then I have some more the following week, day and night, but and weekends even. But yeah, that workshop, if you pre-order, you get all the meditations for free in February. The workshop is actually on February 22nd. It's only $44. And then you get all the meditations for free, and the meditations, that's a $20 value. So there you go. And I think that it might help a lot with this. So, and if you can't do the live, you'll get a recorded version of it. Anyway, I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you in February for your love readings. Bye.